Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 18 of the Mitch and Alex Show. He's Mitch.
Am I?
I'm Alex.
I
And we are the Mitch and Alex Show, sponsored by Bulldog Glass and Property Maintenance, as always. What a week it's been.
episode 18 box.
Episode 18.
Who would ever have thought?
Not us. Do you remember when we were the Mitch and Alex Show featuring Keegan Brettle?
Yeah, and then Keegan turned up 2 times, I believe, and never came back.
Yeah, and then he was here for like half an episode on like episode 7.
Yeah, he turned up for half of one.
Yep. And
The ratings have declined ever since.
yeah. The people miss Keegan. On Jasmine Brettle's Instagram story, she was asked when her and/or Keegan would be returning. So I guess the fans are only here for the Brettles.
Jasmine Brettle, what an amazing woman. Greatest wrestler in all of Australian wrestling.
Yeah.
Got to put her over.
Jasmine Brettle. What a gal. My wrestling mum.
Yeah. She protected you from getting ribbed at not last Collecticon.
The Collecticon
before.
Yeah.
You were very fragile.
I was.
We're gonna give a shout out to Jimmy as well.
Yeah, shout out to Jimmy Poulton, who's
He's in the hospital.
in the hospital. Yeah.
Should we have said that?
I don't know.
I feel like we invaded his privacy.
That's
Sorry,
okay.
Jimmy, but
He
thoughts
will-
and prayers.
But he
thoughts
will
and
be
prayers.
here tonight. So I guess he's okay.
All right. I'm happy to hear that.
Um
Best wishes to Jimmy and his family.
we have a somewhat big show tonight.
There's lots to talk about, Box.
There is. We've got All-Star in the year that was 2021, arguably the year that
The breakout year.
shot you into stardom,
Into the stratosphere.
the stratosphere. Wow. Aries comment?
The fans were very stratified.
Oh, I like
Do
that.
you get that reference?
I do, yeah. Stratisfaction guaranteed.
That's all right.
We'll also be answering some questions that we received on our Instagram story via the NGL link.
I did see an NGL pop up.
And the latest in Aussie wrestling, because there has been a little bit going on.
There has been.
Should we touch on that first thing out into 2020?
Before we touch on that, I gotta shut this window. It's annoying the shit out of me.
Okay. So somehow, some way, every single week, there's something in this room that bothers Mitch mid podcast. Whether that be a cockroach on the wall or a window open, something bothers Mitch. Now he's closing the door. What is it with that door getting stuck all the time? He's returning. We are wearing our Mitch and Alex Show shirts, as always.
So blocking the door is a piece of the ring, and maybe today we'll get everyone to shift it.
Yeah, it is a little bit in the way, isn't it?
Yeah, so that's what's stopping my door from shutting. It shuts properly, but it's a pain in the ass.
It is.
Like you.
Yeah, like me. But here we are, 18 episodes in.
That's right.
Um,
There'll be someone out there going, "Don't bully Box."
yeah, it's the I was trying to
No
think of something
names
other than the
box.
Aussie Observer, but I yeah. Here we go. Let's see. Oh no.
What do we got?
Our sponsor has said, "Box, we need to discuss banner." I'm sorry, Chief. I told you it's because we're doing the All-Star thing. So I'm
That's
keeping
just
that
an
up at the-
excuse for Box's laziness.
No, it's also because it's buried under a whole bunch of the ring on the other side of this fence.
his nice batter that he invested money in.
We'll have it up after 2023, I promise.
What about the other people that have said hello? Who's in there?
David Bullock says, "Afternoon, gents."
David, always a pleasure to have him in the podcast
It
room.
is. And a new viewer, Josh Tattersall, says, "Hey."
Hey, Josh.
He says, "It's not buried." I feel like I'm gonna.
I
when he
feel
gets the training tonight.
I feel well. Thankfully, luckily for you, he won't be here tonight.
Oh, that's right.
But he's prone to kicking some people in the face, so that could be in your future if you don't,
I promise.
come good.
Promise. We'll have it up soon.
Hit the Godfather music. The man's connected. I'm like Xander Sullivan with the conspiracy theories.
yeah.
Speaking of which, Eastern States title match.
Nice segue.
Xander Sullivan will challenge Tony Cruz. Can you believe it, Box?
I can't. We haven't seen Xander Sullivan since
April.
Yeah. And he will be challenging Tony Cruz.
Certainly,
man he
a fan
beat
favorite though.
in Tony Cruz's return match to All Star.
That's right.
There's a bit of history there.
Xander Sullivan has proven that he is able to get the job done, which has granted him the title match.
However, Tony Cruz has been on a roll as of late, and
He
I
has,
guess, I guess he's been in better form than he was in January.
Victories over Aries, Keegan. Who else does he beat?
Hell
Luke
yeah.
Watts. Hell yeah. He's beaten pretty much all the heroes of All-Star Wrestling
I know.
Australia.
Tony Cruz will be in for a massive challenge against Xander Sullivan, but I think it'll be a great match.
I'm excited to see it.
Who's your prediction for that one, man?
Oh, well,
Sorry to put you on the spot like that.
yeah, it's a tough one. Tony Cruz has been so dominant and has a lot of momentum. He's also willing to do anything to win the match. But Xander, he's had Tony's number before.
He has.
I'm going to say, I think
You-
Tony Cruz will cheat his way to victory.
Yeah.
However, Xander Sullivan could get the job
a
done.
pulling of the tights or a feet on the rope.
That's how he won the belt.
Yeah. I guess we'll see. We'll see next weekend, December 16th, live
That's right.
at the iconic Padstow RSL Club. Get your tickets at www.allstarwrestlingaustralia.com.au. Isn't that right, man?
That's right. Nice plug.
Thank you. So what do you want to get into first? Should we talk about the latest in Aussie wrestling?
Let's talk about the latest in Aussie wrestling
So-
box.
Cover me while I get it up.
Cover me.
Yeah, cover me.
What do you want me to talk about?
I don't know.
Do you want me to dance for the people like a monkey?
Like Dancing Dave?
Like Dancing Dave, yeah?
Yeah, I'll get it up.
I'm not your monkey, Bob.
Here we go. There was a massive announcement. I think it was it 5 promotions in Queensland or 4?
4 or 5. It's very interesting, box. It's never been. Well, we've never seen promotions work together on a level like this.
Just waiting for it to load.
Yeah, all I see is a giant piece of pizza.
It's at the background, okay.
What's going on with your internet, box?
I don't know. I think it's just because there's been so much in the chat since that when I look for it, it's.
All right, I'm gonna explain it. to
Here we
people.
go. I found it.
All
Massive announcement.
You don't have to read it all. It was a long press release.
No, I'm just gonna read the first bit. Massive announcement for 2024. The Pro Wrestling League, Wide Bay Pro, Queensland Wrestling Alliance, and United Pro Wrestling and to enter into an agreement, a landmark agreement for 2024, effective from the 1st of January. PWL, WBPW, QWA, and UPW will enter an agreement where all titles, talents, etc., can be shared and defended on each other's events moving forward.
Yeah, so it's something that places have talked about for decades. You know, if we could all just get along and work together, we'd all be much better off. You know, that's what they always say, right?
Yeah, it's just how would that work?
It seems like that's what they're gonna do. At least it's good to see 4 promotions on the same page.
That'd be like us, IWA, PWA, and Rock and Roll all getting together.
Yeah, it would be a landmark thing.
Yeah.
It's certainly interesting, and this new alliance they have, it covers pretty much every major city in Queensland.
Yeah.
So it's interesting, Box. What's your thoughts on it? Give us a view, Chief.
See, I don't know much about the Queensland pro wrestling scene.
Yeah, neither do I.
It's just, I don't know. I'm interested to see how it'll work. You know, there's a lot of egos in pro wrestling, and I find that it'll be tough to.
We can't say that there'll be egos in this
No, like,
because we don't know anyone up there.
Yeah, we just. I'm interested to see how it'll all unfold and how long it'll last. Hopefully, it does last.
Yeah,
I think
hopefully.
it's a good thing for professional wrestling, not only in Queensland but just overall. You know, like it could set the mark for any other state to do it. You know, promotions in New South Wales or Perth or wherever else there's professional wrestling.
What I'm thinking is you could have a promotion because obviously they're not going to run the same dates as one another.
Yeah, unless they do
So,
joint shows.
If each promotion runs once a month already, that'd mean the wrestlers would work 4 times a month.
Yeah,
which would be great.
Well, that's the thing. Like, how many wrestlers are on the roster? Will it? I guess.
Well, they're all going to run their own shows. Is my understanding of it still, but they're just going to work together.
Okay,
which is ideal in the Aussie wrestling landscape, you know, because if people work together, it would be great. So
there's a great question here from RPAC23. Who would you like to work with? If there was a promotion that I guess you could partner up with, because we've seen failed partnerships before.
Yeah, see, I'd be very reluctant because I've been burned so many times. Like Had a deal with FWA that was awful. I had a deal with Kingdom, which was okay, but it never really did anything.
The unofficial VCW partnership, I guess.
Yeah, that wasn't really a working. Maybe. That one didn't work out. Wrestle Strong Dojo didn't work out. So we're kind of just happy doing our own thing. If there was a company,
It'd have to be PWA or Rock and Roll, wouldn't it?
yeah, but see, PWA, like, I don't think their fans are into what we give, and our fans aren't into what they give. So we're great alternatives to each other.
Yeah.
So if we merged, like, it could upset the fans, I guess. Rock and Roll would be an interesting one because they have a lucrative market down there.
Yeah.
Interstate, any of the bigger ones that are professional, I'd be
Like
open
an
to.
MCW or an
Yeah,
EPW.
yeah, or the one that we're gonna talk about, I guess,
Yeah.
next, the Oceania thing, the Queensland promotions. If they really manage to do something cool up there, like, I'd love to work with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyone that's professional and won't, fuck all Star over, I'd be
Yeah.
down for. But it's hard to find who.
Got another decent question here from a new viewer, Tezza. I know who Tezza is.
You know, Tezza.
Yeah. Who would be your ultimate dream match for All Star Wrestling? I think we've been asked this before, but I feel like it'd be different now.
The match that I said last time, and I'm going to stick with it.
Because like a match that we haven't seen before.
Yeah, it's going to happen next week.
Wow.
Jack Dullahan, Keegan Brettle at
Wow.
Padstow. So it's happened before at the Collecticon. Never happened at Padstow.
They were very different at different stages in their career, though.
Yes, yeah. So that's one that I'm really looking forward to. That's my dream match right now, and it's gonna happen next week. So make sure you're there to see it, Tezza.
I think my match, we've seen it in tag competition, but Robbie Eagles and Aries.
That would be an interesting one too.
That would be a fantastic match. I've been in the ring with Aries, and his cardio is insane, as is Robbie Eagles, a very fast-paced wrestler. So I'd like to see.
We should mention. I'm not sure if it was the last show or the show before, but a former PWA champion that worked with Robbie in his time in PWA said that Aries is the next Robbie Eagles.
That is true. He did say that.
So the next Robbie Eagles versus the current Robbie Eagles, it'd be interesting.
And Robbie Eagles he's on a roll at the moment. He's doing stuff with TMDK. He's working over in New Japan. He's working all over Japan, I believe. Doing stuff all over the country as well, like over here.
Yeah, he's
so
great.
I think Robbie Eagles and Aries is my answer.
It's a good one. Hopefully it happens one day.
Another thing that we were going to talk about was,
we just referenced it, right?
Yeah, the Oceania Pro Wrestling have, I guess, signed, was it like an agreement with?
So they signed a deal with either the Victorian government or the Ballarat government. I'm not sure which.
Yeah.
Or the Ballarat Council, I guess it'd be. And they're going to host like a 5-day StarCast wrestling convention and shows and all that. Pull it up. But like Bret Hart's going to be there, which is amazing.
Yeah, that's huge.
Mickie James is going to be there, which is great. She's awesome as well. I don't know if they announced anyone else, but certainly an interesting one, Box.
Yeah, so from Wednesday the 10th of April to Sunday the 15th of April across various venues in Ballarat. So yeah, a week after WrestleMania, Bret Hart will be there, Mickie James will be there.
That's very cool.
Because when was the last time Bret Hart was there?
2001.
That's not. Wow, how did you know that?
World Wrestling All Stars.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Bret Hart hasn't been here in 22 years.
That's right.
It'll
be 23
next year.
Mm.
That's older than me.
Yes, it is.
So I think
it's a big get because these legendary wrestlers that they might have health issues, like Bret obviously does. He's had a stroke.
Yeah.
Like it's always a big get for these guys because they don't often leave the US.
Yeah.
So
or Canada, I guess, in Bret's
situation. But I mean North America then.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't often get on a plane.
Yeah.
So it's exciting. I'm not sure how it will do. Like the Wagga Wagga one, from what I heard, wasn't overly successful. But Ballarat is bigger.
Yeah.
And Bret Hart's a bigger name.
Yeah, like the Impact guys, if they had done that, I guess, more like in Sydney or Melbourne or somewhere more central, I guess, instead of out regional.
But the idea is to drive tourism to these areas.
Yeah, but it didn't really work. I don't know the impact.
Well, it worked.
Wrestling
They a lot of hardcore wrestling fans went down there. Like, I guess it'd be up to the Wagga Council or New South Wales government if it was a success. But I think they're expecting more people.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, I don't think Impact Wrestling will be a draw for general tourism. I think it'd have to be something like a WWE or a
Yeah.
mainstream thing.
And they're not going to be able to afford
yeah,
that.
Impact is too niche, I think.
Yeah.
Another question.
It was meant to be New Japan originally, which is also
Really?
quite niche.
Yeah, I feel like that's even more niche than Impact.
Maybe. They're both pretty niche.
They are. I know. I just think Impact is like at some point everyone watched TNA when they were like huge. You know what I mean? I don't think. I
Yeah,
feel
that was
like
a decade ago, though.
yeah. Fair enough. Another question in here from Tezza. How was the reception and feedback from the Collecticon?
I haven't heard any complaints. What about you, Box?
No, I haven't. In fact, I think it was quite good. I got some feedback personally on my performance, I guess. But yeah, no, like the Collecticons are always great because we've started getting some regular Padstow fans coming down to watch us.
Yeah, it's great to see our regular fans.
I was watching the footage back and like a decent crowd of people gather around to watch the wrestling. So it's good that I guess you could say we're one of the main attractions of the Collecticon.
I don't know about that.
Oh,
I'll take it.
Yeah.
All right. We're the main attraction.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Get it? Anyway.
Let's say his name.
Hell yeah. The Content Cat, as always, is cool podcast.
Hello, Content Cat.
We love the Content Cat. The Mr. Drunk Monkey, aka Cameraman Shay, says, "Hey yo."
Hey yo.
He's throwing in a hey yo today. I'm expecting him to throw a toothpick at the time. Oh,
I would hope that's already happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this whole Ballarat thing, how do you think that'll go? Do you think it'll...
I'm not sure. It's too hard to... Like, Ballarat's bigger than Wagga.
Yeah.
It's closer to Melbourne, so they will have a lot of fans from Melbourne. Will they get the kind of tourism they want from New South Wales and Canberra and Queensland? I don't know.
Yeah.
They've got a lot more to announce. Is Bret Hart a big enough name to get people on a plane down to Ballarat in these economic times, though?
I think so. I know a few people that had jumped down to Melbourne to see Bret Hart. Yeah.
Well, it's not Melbourne, it's Ballarat.
It's near Melbourne.
2 hours. So it's saying Newcastle and Sydney are the same.
Yeah.
They're not.
Really?
Let's not get into that box.
But yeah, no, well, I know people that go down to Ballarat to see Bret Hart.
I don't.
Really?
Are these mutual friends of ours?
They are.
Oh, well, okay.
We know some pretty big Bret Hart fans, though.
Yeah, I bet you're the biggest Bret Hart fan we know isn't going to Ballarat, though.
Probably not, but I think if you would, you'd have the chance to. I'll ask him later.
We'll talk to him.
Yeah, so... And like Mickey James, I feel like that's not it's not a huge name like Bret Hart. But
no, she's a good name to have.
Yeah, she's one of the... I'd put her in the top 10 women of all time.
Of all time?
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, I'd have to think about that. I'm not going to think about it now. We'll come back next week with that.
Okay, so 2021. The year that was 2021 for All Star, the year that was our breakout year, I guess. It started off with, let me get the card up. A Storm is Coming on the 6th of February, 2021. Our first ever show at the iconic Padstow RSL Club.
Yeah. Wow.
So that'll be 3 years in 2 months.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like 3 years, but it was. So we'll have to do something special in February.
Let's do a little card run through. Mikey Lord defeats Axton Ursus in the opener. Now, there's something that happened in that opener that we'll touch on.
Oh, you don't want me to comment yet?
No, we'll go through the card and then we'll get to it. El Jaguar defeats Jack Zimmer. Wesley Williams with Mickey Vendetta defeats Phil Picasso.
Wes's debut, yeah.
Wes's debut, that's right. Genghis Kong defeats Jack Dullahan.
Dullahan's debut.
Flame defeats Jasmine Brettle and Nikki Petit in a gauntlet match.
Yeah. We booked that.
The All-Star Wrestling Tag Team titles. Domination, which consists of Goran Uriel Nikolov and Lucius Wolf, defeat the Vagrant Boys, Dan Archer and Vinnie Bronson.
Yeah.
And the interim heavyweight title match, Keegan Brettle defeats Grant Lindstrom. That was because Kingston Eclipse was overseas and unable to make it, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because of COVID.
Yeah. So first All-Star show at Padstow, 180 people in attendance. This is the biggest crowd in All-Star history by quite a distance.
Yeah, it
Why
was.
do you think this was? Was it because of the venue change or anything like that? Do you think?
It's hard to pinpoint. Like now that we're established in Padstow, we can tell, like, if we draw a bad crowd, it's like, oh, well, the card must not have been attractive. If we draw good, oh, the card must have been really attractive. For this one, it was kind of like, for me, I think it was people hadn't gone out for so long.
Yeah.
And they hadn't seen wrestling in so long. And we were like one of the first promotions that come back.
Yeah,
it was like two others than us.
Mm.
So we advertised it well. And I guess people were like, well, fuck, I've been, locked up in my house for 9 months. Let's go to the wrestling. And that resulted in a big crowd.
Now, the first match on the card.
Yes.
Mikey Lord. He hits a moonsault from either the top or second rope to the outside. And he shatters.
I think it was the top.
He shatters his ankle into an unbelievable amount of pieces, I think I remember it being.
He told me, or maybe he didn't tell me, maybe he said online. I don't want to misrepresent, but I think he said his foot or ankle got shattered into 60 pieces.
Yeah. What's your recollection of that moment?
I don't really remember it happening. Because I think I was backstage, so I wasn't watching the matches that day. We didn't have a monitor.
Right. No special man table?
No special man table. This was pre-special man table. Wow. Yeah. I think I was meant to have a monitor, but there was no monitor. Anyway, Mikey comes back because he got himself back there, and he's just in agony on the floor. And we're like, oh, shit, like, what's happened? And he's like, no, it's fine. I'll walk it off. To his credit, he did kind of walk it off. Someone found some crutches for him, and he got on the crutches and drove to the hospital. Well, his girlfriend at the time drove to the hospital. I
remember seeing it on Facebook, and I think someone shared a photo of him mid moonsault.
Yeah, there is the infamous photo out there.
Yeah. It was crazy, seeing that, and then he posted a photo of him in a hospital bed with a cast on, and I was like, that's nuts. Shattering your ankle or foot into 60 pieces.
The guy has high pain tolerance, because I feel like if that happened to me, I'd pass out.
Yeah.
From pain. But he was in pain, but
I'm wiggling my toes at the moment just thinking about
yeah. We didn't think at that time that it would have been a situation where he had shattered 60 bones in his feet or whatever it was. And then he didn't even need an ambulance. He just got on some crutches and left. Yeah.
Yeah, it's mind-boggling.
It's a big risk that he took for the opening match at Padstow, and there was a bit of a thought that, oh shit, we may be cursed in this building and people are going to get injured forever. But thankfully, we never had anything like that again.
No, yeah. To welcome in, I guess, the new era.
The new era.
It is a new era. It's you've done one Sydney show previously before this one.
Yes. Yeah, we talked about it last week. Two actually.
Yeah. So we saw the debuts of Jack Dullahan and Wes Williams, which you mentioned. How did that come about? Where did you, I guess, see them or scout them, or why did you book them?
Well, I saw Jack Dullahan in an AWS show, and Goran comes up to me and he goes, "You got to see this guy. You'll love him." So he introduces me to Jack Dullahan, and it's this guy who's 6'4".
Jack Dullahan is a large man.
He is, in shape, good looking dude. And I'm like, this guy is money.
Yeah.
So I instantly got the details. I was like a guy chasing a pretty girl, but instead I'm chasing a wrestler.
Yeah.
But I'm like, look, I'd love to book you, and I think I can do a lot with you. And he's like, oh yeah, thanks. Didn't get to use him until this show.
Yeah.
And that first AWS show was like a year previously. But he wrestled Keegan that night. He had a great match, and he's been an all-star ever since. And Wes was more of a happy accident. We needed someone to work the Birdman because it was always hard to find people to work the Birdman. And Goran, again, he's like, I know this guy from AWF. His name's Wes Williams. He's happy to work the Birdman.
Wow.
So I'm like, okay, we'll book this Wes fella, and Wes has been there ever since as well.
Now he's a former heavyweight champion.
Former heavyweight, former Eastern States. Hasn't won the tag yet, but with hell yeah, who knows?
Yeah, well, both Wes and Aries, I believe, are one win away from the Triple Crown.
And Keegan,
that's right. Yeah, well, how did you, I guess, expect them to go? And were your expectations met?
Well, I saw a lot in Wes because he had some promos or something that I saw, and I'm like, this guy's a bit rough around the edges, which makes sense. He was new. But I'm like, there's some potential there.
Yeah.
Gave him a gimmick where he was like him and his tag partner, Mickey Vendetta. Almost government named him. Where they were like infatuated with Nikki Petite.
Yeah.
And that didn't go over too good. He really come into his own when we made him like a single star and got him away from everyone else.
Doing the Millennial Prince shtick.
Yeah. But did I expect him to be a future All-Star champion? Probably not at that time. And Jack, always saw a lot in Jack, so I'm not surprised that he's had the success that he's had.
A team called Domination, consisting of Goran and Lucius Wolf.
Yes.
They won the All-Star Tag Team titles here. What did you think of Domination? Obviously, you thought something good of them, considering.
Yeah, I thought positively of them. The idea behind it is they were like big guys.
Yeah.
Everyone that was in Domination was a big dude, and they just destroy guys. On this show, I remember them having. It was probably Goran's best match that I've seen him have. Lucius, he's a bit better in ring, so I'm sure he's had better. But he was a good contributor as well. I liked him. A lot of people didn't. A lot of people thought the name was shitty and funny, but I didn't have an issue with the name. I thought it was a cool concept, and Goran was really committed to being a tag guy, and Lucius was as well. So, yeah, I liked it.
Well, yeah, I guess it helps when two tag guys are
they're committed to being a tag. Yeah.
Also introduces the interim title in the main event as Keegan Brettle defeats Grant Lindstrom.
Yep.
Memories of the first Padstow main event.
I remember Keegan bleeding. I remember
he's told that story. He got hit on the head with the turnbuckle.
I don't remember that.
Oh.
I remember it was kind of like the first all-star main event.
Yeah.
Like where we did the brawling around the crowd, or maybe it wasn't. Maybe we did that in Wollongong years. But it was the first time in Sydney that we'd done that, and the crowd were really receptive to it. They brawled around the crowd. Grant did really good. Cengiz was in that match as well. He did good. And Keegan had that big babyface moment where he won the interim title. So I really like that match. It's one of my favorites from 2021, I guess.
The next show was the Penrith Collecticon. I believe the first ever Penrith Collecticon for All-Star.
Yep.
There was only 3 matches on this one. There was no morning.
Yeah, when we first started, there was only. Wait, no, I think we did a match an hour. So it was like we did a match at 11, a match at 12, and a match at 1.
All right.
Because I remember we did a match at 1, and that was the Falco Keegan match for the interim title.
Correct.
There's barely anyone there because the convention was starting to like file out at around 12.
All right.
So that's why we do a 10 and a 12 session now, because there was no one there for that 1 o'clock match.
Flame defeats Nikki Petite.
Yep.
A 6-man tag: Goran, Jack Dullahan, and the Birdman.
What a team!
I know. Defeat Axton Ursus, Mickey Vendetta, and Wes Williams.
Yeah.
Wow, what a match! The interim heavyweight title: Keegan Brettle defeats Harvey Falco.
Yeah.
I think I've got the question.
I would hope so.
Yeah. So the first Collecticon occurred.
Yes.
How did the relationship begin, and what was the idea behind it?
wrestling and pop culture. It just makes sense.
It does.
Collecticon's a pop culture show, so it was kind of like let's go out there. I wanted to break into the Penrith market. I still think Penrith has got a lot of potential. It's just there's not really a lot of suitable venues for wrestling out there, and unfortunately, Western Sydney has been burned by a lot of below average shows.
Yeah.
But I think Penrith is a hotbed, and that's proven every 6 months or so when World Series goes out there and packs the Penrith Panthers Leagues Club. But I was very into the idea of doing Padstow and Penrith. That's why we did the Collecticon. And the idea behind it was just to put the younger guys on it, or the guys that wanted to pick up extra bookings.
Yep.
To go on there. Similar to what, the students take it now.
Where are we?
A lot of guys got their start there, like the Slug.
What a guy.
What a guy. Shout out to the Slug.
Our next event at the Padstow RSL Club, the Revolution starts now. What a show.
Did the Revolution start?
I don't know. Did it? You tell me. I wasn't there. The opener, Harvey Falco defeats B-Boy. Grant Lindstrom defeats Caesar. Phil Picasso defeats Axton Ursus. El Jaguar defeats Livewire. The tag team titles, Domination defeat Fergus Ferguson and Mickey Vendetta. Speaking of the Slug, he just liked my post on Instagram.
Wow.
Yeah, he liked.
He's not watching the pod though.
No, he's not.
Slug, if you're out there, give us a message.
Do it, Slug. In a taped fist match.
Yeah.
Jack Dullahan defeats Genghis Kong.
You know what a taped fist match is?
Is it where they tape their fists?
Yeah. And punches illegal.
Yeah, right.
It's a very traditional style match. It's very 80s.
Yeah, sounds very 80s.
Mm.
You're an 80s guy, aren't you?
No, I'm more inspired by 90s, early 2000s.
Fair enough.
I do like 80s wrestling.
And in the interim title main event, Keegan Brettle defeats Dan Archer. Nothing particularly huge about this show, was there?
No, it was just kind of a follow-up show from the big first show.
Question here from the content cat. When will we see Birdman again?
You could see him every month at the Bexley Manor Hall. He's there. APW, check it out.
The Mr. Drunk Monkey says, old school gimmick. I assume that's in reference to the tape fist match.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Very 80s or 70s even.
Yeah.
Always like to do that stuff when I can because it's interesting. It's different. You know what's old is new again.
Yeah. The here we go. Too Sweet Matty Chew. G'day, fella.
G'day.
So the next Collecticon occur. The second ever Collecticon, and this is where you go into the sessions, I assume?
Yeah, so I wasn't working and I knew that, so we did the 10 and the 12.
So the first session, Genghis Kong defeats Wesley Williams by a count out.
Yeah.
What a cat.
Wes ran off.
The interim heavyweight title match, Keegan Brettle defeats Jules Cannon. Any recollection of Jules Cannon?
Just a little guy from Perth.
Fair enough.
Very nice guy though. Very respectful. He wanted to pick up some bookings when he was in New South Wales. I'm like, well, yeah, we'll chuck you on a Collecticon. Why not?
In the main event of the morning session, Goran and Jack Dullahan. What a team.
Yeah. Two big units.
Defeat the team of the Bird and the Bee. B-Boy and the Birdman, Phil Picasso.
I'm sure we'll get into that.
We definitely will get into the Bird and the Bee.
I feel like we've told that story before, though.
We have with Wes Williams on the podcast.
It's all right, we'll tell it again.
We will.
That Collecticon, and I'm sure you're bringing up the second session now, but that seems like not that long ago.
Yeah, that was...
Like it was 2 years ago. Almost 2 years, right? Almost 3 years ago.
Yeah, it was... Let me see. It was in May of 2021.
Yeah, so almost 3 years ago. Like I still remember it quite well. I wouldn't. This event had a special guest as well. I don't know if that's on your list.
I'm just about to mention.
All right, go ahead.
So the special guest that Mitch is referring to is none other than radio host and famous NRL commentator Andrew Voss.
Vossi.
So Andrew Voss stumbles upon All Star, which leads to Keegan Brettle getting 10 minutes of airtime on statewide radio, with All Star being the main topic of discussion. How did that come about? There is also a photo on Andrew Voss's Instagram of Keegan mid-splash.
Yeah, so I never spoke to Vossi myself, but the story was, from what I heard on the radio, he was walking. He was at the Collecticon with his son. He saw wrestling. He's like, "What the fuck's this?" And he loved it. He made comments about the Birdman.
There was even a clip of audio that you have used in some.
I've used that as much as I can. Yeah, with Vossi endorsing All Star. But yeah, he stumbled across it. He loved it. Most people at the Collecticon do. If they've never seen live wrestling before, it's like, what's this?
Yeah.
So Vossi must have been very surprised. He loved it. Got in touch. Well, his producer got in touch with All Star, and we sent him Keegan for 10 minutes of radio, and it was a very entertaining 10 minutes.
I bet I'll have to seek that out.
It's on the All Star YouTube page.
Oh wow,
yeah,
that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
So the year finishes off with A Night to Remember 2. This was only in June, but then we had
COVID
again.
Yeah.
So we'll run through the card here. In a career versus mask match, we see Dan Archer defeat El Jaguar, who was revealed as Luke Watts.
You see, again, that match doesn't seem so long ago, but 2.5 years ago.
Now, we'll touch on this in a moment. The Bird and the Bee, B-Boy and Bill Picasso defeat Fergus Ferguson and Wesley Williams. We'll touch on that. Jack Dullahan versus Tyler Gunn in a double countout.
Mm-hmm.
That's an interesting one. A 3-on-2 handicap Australian death match. That's nuts.
Is it?
Yeah, it is. Keegan Brettle and Lucius Wolf defeat Elite Wrestling, which consists of Grant Lindstrom, Harvey Falco, and Genghis Khan.
Yep.
6-man tag team match. Hugh Beauty, Mr. Tremendous, and Super Bison defeat Goblin Kid, Paddy O'Reilly, and Sammy Saber.
You look like you don't know those names, Box.
I know a few of those names.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
They were slam wrestlers.
Yeah.
Before slam was a thing.
Sammy Saber, I swear I've seen him at a BCW. He's at a BCW.
No, he's a Canberra guy. They all were.
In a singles match. Now, this may have taken over Keegan versus Robbie as my favorite All-Star match of all time. Robbie Eagles defeats Johnny Starr.
No.
It was like a 30-minute Padstow banger, wasn't it?
It wasn't 30.
No, it was like 14 minutes.
Yeah.
But it was a banger.
It's a good match, yeah.
It's one of my favorites.
It's available on the All-Star YouTube page, by the way.
Full.
Yeah, full match.
The people have been blessed.
Yeah, just search Johnny Starr versus Robbie Eagles.
And in the main event, now, this was supposed to be Mikey Nichols, I believe. Or was that the next show?
No, this was it. No.
This is it, yeah.
No.
So this was supposed to be Mikey Nichols, former New Japan and Noah star? Was he Noah?
Noah NXT.
Yeah, he was in NXT as Nick Miller with Shane Thorne or Shane Hayes. They were there as TM61, which I guess was a little nod to their TMDK thing.
There was a meaning behind that name when they were there, but I don't remember.
TM just sounds like their last name, Thorne Miller.
Yeah, but the 61 was maybe the phone number code for Western Australia or something.
Yeah,
I don't know. Or it's the area code for
yeah.
Australia.
Yeah, maybe. So with Mikey Nichols unable to compete, Kingston Eclipse puts out an open challenge.
Yep.
And who else answered that challenge but the interim heavyweight champion, Keegan Brettle?
It's only natural, Box.
It's only
natural.
And this match was a no disqualification match, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would have been, yeah.
There's a video that I've seen many a time of Keegan jumping off a ladder through a table, blood all over him, and he wins the All-Star heavyweight title.
And what about Kingston running across the tables?
I haven't seen that.
It's in that same highlight package.
Oh,
you got to suss it out.
I'll have a look.
It's on the YouTube page.
But that is a memorable moment. I remember seeing Keegan. He hit a big move and he like wiped the blood off his head and he like wiped it across his body and he climbed up on the ladder and hit that big splash. And
it was one of my favorite All-Star matches. Like
I think it is your favorite.
Yeah, like it's certainly
that will go down in All-Star history forever. If there was a Hall of Fame of All-Star moments, that would be number one, I think.
It was kind of that breakout moment where I think people identified that we're not like the others.
Yeah. Got some questions. So, yeah, the country goes into another lockdown. The show is held in front of well over 200 people.
Yeah, it was like
also
260.
So pretty much a sellout.
Yeah, it's a they were allowing us to do 300 at the time, so we were 40 off.
So I guess what was your feeling after this show? Well, tell me what you were feeling before, I guess, you went into lockdown. So what were your feelings about the show? And then what were your feelings after there was another lockdown announced?
Like my feelings in the lead up to the show?
No, after the show.
After the show. Oh, we were pumped. Like 260 was like the first show was like 180, first show of the year.
Yeah.
So we'd done almost 100 more. So it's like, shit, this is really starting to work. Padstow's great. The people are starting to follow us. Then there's a lockdown.
Yeah.
So how did that affect us? I think I've gone into it before, but it makes you want to quit and not do it.
Yeah.
Because we built all this momentum. Now it's like, okay, we're taking the momentum away. And then it kind of was a rebuild in 2022, which we'll touch on next week. It's kind of, you had to rebuild everything again. So, yeah, it wasn't great, but there's people doing it worse than me, I'm sure.
So on this card, which has been touted as the worst match in All-Star history.
By me.
By you.
But many others as well.
Yeah. By half the guys in this match.
Oh, really?
Yeah. By me as well.
By you, okay.
Well, one of the guys that was in
We'll
that
just
match,
call it the worst All-Star match of all time.
Yeah, so the man that was in that match, Wes Williams, was on this podcast.
He said it was his worst.
He said it was the worst.
Yeah.
So it was B-Boy and Birdman taking on Fergus Ferguson and Wes Williams. Give us all the details. First off, what was Birdman like on the day? What happened? Like, what were your thoughts during the entire thing? What happened afterwards? Why was he so angry?
Well, I feel like we've got to explain to the people first before we can answer that question. Birdman went off script, I guess. And he was enraged and he attacked Fergus Ferguson. He was very angry. He's yelling, swearing. What were your questions now that people know? Why was he so? Or how was he
like on the day? Was there any indication that he was in a?
So he was telling me in the lead up. He's like, "Oh, I'm okay to be in a tag match. You know, I'm excited to work with B-Boy, and we're gonna be a great tag team, and you know, hopefully we can have the tag team titles one day." And I'm like, "Yeah, you know, it's gonna be great."
Just quickly, sorry. Yeah. Who came up with the bird and the bee?
Me, but B-Boy has said previously on a podcast that someone else come up with it and it just never come to fruition. So I didn't take it from anyone, but someone had the idea first.
Right.
But I guess great minds think alike. Don't know whose idea it was though, so maybe I'm insulting
Maybe
myself.
they're not a great mind.
Yeah, maybe. But on the day, he was pretty fired up about it. Yeah. He's like, I don't want to do a tag. I've traveled all this way to do a tag. Rah, rah, rah. And I'm like, well, you know, look, do the tag. Then you don't have to do any more tags. It's okay. We'll work around it. You know, if I can travel to this far for a tag. Anyway, I just let him do his own thing. Hoping it was a situation where the Birdman had just calmed down. But
go with beer, have a slap.
Yeah, because that's what he went off and did. But yeah, that was it in the lead up. And what made him so angry?
Yeah, well, like what were your thoughts? Firstly, what were your thoughts during the entire thing?
Well, I was sitting there, and so far so good in the early stages. Then I see Birdman look at me with these crazy angry eyes, and I'm like, "Fuck, what's going on?" He's an intimidating guy, because you know people go, he's 55 years old, and you know, but he's a scary guy. Yeah. So then he starts swearing at me, and I'm like, "Oh fuck!" And then he gets in the ring and then immediately tags out, and he's like, "This is fucking bullshit, rah rah rah," and I'm like, "Oh no, what's going on?" And then the funniest part, Fergus runs over and he like pulls the leg to get some to get an advantage over. Oh, I guess to stop Bird from tagging in. And then the
Bird wanted to tag in anyway.
But the Bird, he got pissed off, and he's on the stage side. He's just throwing wild punches at Fergus. Fergus has a deer in the headlight look, and he's trying to run away. And I'm like, oh no, what's going on? It really was a disaster.
It's funny looking back at it now, though. Like, look at us pissing ourselves laughing, like talking about it. I don't know how the others feel about it.
I had Special Man Jace next to me, and I'm like, Jace, what's going on? What's going on? He's like, I don't know. Jace wasn't gonna step in. But
so what happened afterwards?
Go backstage. He's pissed off, angry, yelling. I'm like, well, you know, what's the big deal? What's the big deal? He's very passionate about it, and he brought a lot of people for that show, and he was upset that they didn't get to see him perform to his fullest, which I guess is a fair assessment.
But then again,
you can't act like that, though.
But then again, if he tags in and then tags straight out,
yeah,
they're not going to see you at your.
But don't say that. Box will be on his Facebook.
True.
Do you want that?
I don't.
Then I'll have to go to another show, make nice, you know, yeah. Just Birdman's a great guy.
One of the heavily promoted matches for this card was Domination and Keegan Brettle versus Falco, Grant Lindstrom, and Genghis Kong.
Yeah, we built that for months.
In an Australian death match. In the lead up to the event, Goran pulls out of the show publicly on social media.
Yes.
And vacates his All-Star title. Tag team title.
Tag team title.
Why did this happen?
To put it bluntly, Goran didn't want to lose in the way we had designed for him to lose. And instead of working with it and being a pro, he didn't. He just decided, oh, I'm leaving. I like Goran. He's a nice guy, but he's done that to me twice. So, yeah, unlikely that we'd see him again. But you never know.
Do you think he regrets what happened?
Well, he works for AWF now, and we were doing pretty good here at All Stars. So I think he regrets it. But I don't know. I haven't had a proper conversation with him in 2-3 years. So since this happened, really. But I did tell him, I said, you know, don't leave. Everybody that leaves ends up regretting it. And he left, and yeah.
Robbie Eagles makes his All-Star debut.
Yes,
semi-main event.
He does.
Against the returning Johnny Starr. So this is the first time we've seen Johnny Starr since
November.
Since he left that just before that Fatal 4-Way match that was
talked about last week. Yeah.
How did Robbie end up coming in? Why the match with Johnny Starr, and how did that all come together?
We wanted Robbie for the first Sydney show at Penshurst. Whatever reason, it didn't end up happening. I don't remember. Then we approached him for this show because it's a big show. We wanted to have a couple big guests, and you know what bigger guests than Robbie and Mikey Nichols? They were part of Chaos, wasn't it? They're part of a stable in New Japan.
Possibly the Bullet Club at that point.
No, I don't think Nichols was in the Bullet Club. Robbie left the Bullet Club and joined Chaos, I think, and Nichols was part of that. Right, okay. So I figured it'd be cool for the fans to be able to meet, you know, two guys from Chaos and, you know, Robbie Eagles on your biggest show of the year. Not a bad thing. Why the match with Johnny Starr? So Johnny Starr and Robbie Eagles kind of started out together, I guess. And they were in PWA at the same time. So they'd always wanted to have a singles match. So I pitched it to Robbie. Robbie was keen and Starr was keen. So we did the match, and I'm glad that we did.
How did Johnny Starr end up returning? How did that?
Don't remember.
Fair enough.
I'm sure one of us would have reached out and apologized for our previous disagreements, and it's all water under the bridge with Johnny Starr. He's one of the best people in wrestling.
What a fella.
I hope he hears this. You got to tell him that. I put him over.
Yeah, I'll tell him that. What a dick.
Don't tell him next week though. He's been messing with Hell Yeah and Wes.
Yeah, true. Yeah, so we spoke about the originally slated main event of Keegan versus Mikey. Mikey Nichols. Sorry,
Kingston versus Mikey, yeah.
Which turned into Keegan. Yeah, so what were your thoughts, I guess, during the match, after the match? And what were your thoughts after the show overall? Thinking, like,
I thought the match was great. Like, as I said, it's one of my favorite matches. Crazy main event, like probably the best a Night to Remember main event in terms of craziness, at least. And after the event, as I said before, I was pumped. I was excited. You draw, over 250 people. It's good times ahead. And we did that with a card of local Australian wrestlers. So you start to think positive things like, oh, we're going to come back next time and do it again. But COVID prevented that.
So that was 2021.
That's it.
2021's
done.
What year it was?
There's a lizard in there. See him?
I do. Let's name him Barry.
Bazza, for short.
Bazza. Mr. Hardy Production says, we love Mitch and don't care for Alex.
Wow.
I'm sure you also care for Orlando Jordan. When I die, I want to come back as a country boy.
Who says that, Mr. Hardy Productions?
He does.
That's funny.
That is funny.
You're already a country boy, Hardy.
Yeah. Is he?
Don't know his story. Don't know where he's from.
Fair enough. Next week, we touch on 2022.
We've timed it well, Box, because we'll do 2022 next week, and then the final show of 2023 will happen. So we'll do 2023.
Yeah, right. How good?
Good.
Yeah. Yeah. So 2022, it will. I can give good perspective on 2022 and 2023 because that's when I started coming to shows.
You lived it.
I lived it.
You lived it.
What a 2 years it was or has been.
It's been a crazy 2 years, yeah.
It has been. But
2022 was especially exhausting.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it.
I think this year next year is looking pretty exhausting.
We'll talk about that, I'm sure.
Yeah. But we're not done yet. We're only 51 minutes in.
We got some questions, right, Box?
We do.
Do we have anything else before the questions? And tell the people what happened in 2022 that we'll talk about next week. There was Adam Brooks come in.
That's right. Adam Brooks,
Slex, Carlo Cannon,
Carlito,
Chris Masters, Sid Parker. There's shows all over the place. Leeton, the Discovery of the Puppeteer. Steph DeLanda. Oh, I'm receiving a phone call. Suspected spam.
Wow, you get that? iPhones don't get that.
It was reported as a telemarketer.
What a cat.
I got no time for that.
David Bullock says these retrospectives are awesome.
I appreciate that.
That's all Mitch's idea, to be honest. Mr. Hardy Production says, Mitch, tell me what it is to be beautiful.
Have to ask Aries, Chief.
Yeah. He's trying his best to show them.
It's hard at my age.
All right, so we've got some questions in.
How many questions have we got, Box?
I don't know, about 15?
That's good. We'll get 30 minutes out of that.
And
then we'll go have tacos.
I wonder who this one is from. When can we see Dancing Dave in All-Star again?
We just saw him.
We did.
Well, how long ago was that? Like 10 days?
Something like that.
When will we see Dancing Dave again? Well, he won't be there December 16th. He won't be there January 13th. He may be there January 27th. And then he refused to do the tour, so he won't be there for that. Won't be there February 17th. So maybe sometime in March we'll see Dancing Dave.
There is a Collecticon in March.
That's next time we'll see Dancing Dave.
Yeah.
But he is wrestling at Wrestling Go for anyone that's interested.
Yeah. This is a great question. I can't remember who threw this in. Someone told me they threw in a question.
That's a long one.
I couldn't get in on the NGL, but after asking the questions of Jasmine and then getting Jimbo Jesse's response, could there be a match in All-Star between these two?
Jazz, I saw on her Instagram that she's keen, so let's get it done.
Yeah. You know who has wrestled Jimbo Jesse?
Dancing Dave.
And the Puppeteer.
Yep.
I think that'd be a great match, Jimbo Jesse and Jasmine, bro.
Certainly would be. We'll talk to both ladies and see what we can muster up, but I can confirm that Jazz will be on the show December 16th. She will be in action. She'll be defending her women's title.
Against?
Can't tell you who, but it's a special interstate guest. Oh. Stay tuned.
Dancing Dave and Box for tag team championships. No, thanks, Chief. I don't want to team with that guy.
Would you want that honor of being the All-Star Tag Team Champion? You do make every show, which is a prerequisite for being the champion.
I think
unless you're Orlando Jordan or Ryan Eagles.
I I think any championship would be an honor, to be honest with you.
Yeah, they're all pretty prestigious.
Like the likes of Keegan and Aries and Hellier have held the tag team title.
Oh, don't forget about Andrew Villalobos, Dan Archer, Vinnie Bronson, Lee Morrow, yeah. Domination. And of course, Morgan Rose and Otis.
Of course.
I got some beef with Morgan Rose. We'll talk about that before the end of this too.
Yeah, so I think I'd love to be any kind of champion, but to do it with...
What about the women's champion? Would that be disrespectful or you'd be okay with it?
Any championship's a championship, Chief.
Shazza McKenzie, Jasmine Brettle, Billy Mack. That's not a bad list.
Yeah.
And Alexandra Box.
Just put me in a wig, shave the beard.
No, a lot of promotions out there, they'll just have men compete for the women's title now.
That has happened, yeah.
It's bizarre.
Yeah. I've seen it a lot lately.
Defeats the purpose.
It does. If you could time travel to see one wrestling event from the past, what would you see?
Oh, that is a good question.
Night to remember through.
You know, I often say that there's a lot of events that I would love to, like a lot of our events that I'd love to experience as a fan, because it's not the same when you're running the event, you know. It wouldn't be one of ours. Oh, I'm going to say WrestleMania 18. I'm going to say so because I'd love to be in the crowd for that Rock and Hogan match.
I think, which one is the Austin turn on the Rock? Where the Austin
17.
Is that 17? That was, I think that's been called the greatest WrestleMania of all time.
Yeah, that one is generally the one.
I think WrestleMania 30 would also be a great one, watching Brock Lesnar break the streak and Daniel Bryan have his huge moment. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah. Also, ECW Barely Legal, 97.
Oh, that one night stand with Rob Van Dam.
One night stand. Oh, no, the one before.
The one before.
That one was the better one.
Yeah, right.
I would have loved to experience an ECW event
at the Hammerstein Ballroom.
No, at the ECW arena.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like back in the day, like we won't be able to experience that. There's a lot, like the first Starrcade, first WrestleMania, WrestleMania 3. Yeah, too many to name, but that's a really good question. I like that one.
Yeah. John Whelan says boxing address. Thanks, John.
It's been pitched. You watch it all happen now.
Yeah.
It's always coming up.
What are 3 all-star matches to recommend for newbies? So I guess.
Oh, you'd have to pick stuff that's out there, right?
Yeah, I'd say Johnny Starr, Robbie Eagle.
Yeah, but you can't really suggest that one because, like, Robbie is a guest wrestler.
True. You'd have to look at like a Keegan, maybe the Keegan and Hellier against Morgan Rose and Otis.
Is that one uploaded in full?
It's not. No.
I think it's going to be easier if we don't try and remember which ones have been uploaded in full.
Yeah.
I would go with Keegan and Kingston.
Yeah. Because
that shows kind of that we're grittier, that we're family friendly, but sometimes we can go a bit past that. I really love Keegan, Carlito, and Ryan Eagles.
Yep.
Because the crowd was so amazing that night.
Thanks.
Yeah, you're part of it. Yeah, take your credit.
I will.
Yeah. And another one. I'm trying to think. We've got the violence. We've got the amazing moments.
Johnny Starr and B-Boy was a great feud.
It was a good feud. Yeah.
Anything?
The ladder match. With Aries and Dullahan.
Yeah.
Or the 3 stages of hell match, because they're kind of 2 guys that developed and made a name for themselves in All Star.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, here's our focus on the youth.
Even Wes versus Morgan Rose and Otis, if that was,
it's a great match too. Yeah. And then you could easily say the other ones like Eagles versus Eagles. There's another really great match.
John Whelan says the deleted footage.
Which one's that?
I don't know.
Oh, the tag match.
Oh, the tag match?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
That
I don't know if you were here for that earlier, but we spoke about B-Boy and Birdman versus...
that one was not released in the downloadable.
Valuable versus Wesley. That's another great match.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that one. There's a lot of really good ones out there. Like, if we wanted to go with character-based stuff, like B-Boy, J-Law, Red Scorpion, that's uploaded in full. That one was... I really like that one. recently uploaded the tag match between Hell Yeah Wes, Valuable Star.
Yep.
That one was really good. There's a lot out there, but I don't know which ones are in full and which ones are just highlights. But I guess you could suggest something to someone based on highlights anyway.
Yeah.
So
Now, I don't know the answer to this one. I hope you do. What is the puppeteer's actual puppet called?
Le Monsieur.
Okay. Is it just Le Monsieur?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
What does that mean in French, though?
The Mister.
The Mister.
The Mister.
All right, yeah. Well, it's the puppeteer and Le Monsieur.
Yeah.
Yeah. How could you not know that, Box? Come on. I'm
Um,
meant to be a journalist.
Are there any tag teams that you would like to have in All Star?
Yeah. The puppeteer and Zuzu.
Well, I mean,
They're not in All Star yet. Not the main roster, at least.
yeah, okay, fair enough.
Keep an eye out on that team, by
David
the way.
Bullock says-
Dominant.
Aries verse Without Warning at St. Mary's League Club.
That was a good one, too.
Yeah, I forget about that one. I was at that show.
Masters and Eagles had a good one. Keegan and Robbie, we forgot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How could I forget that one?
Yeah.
Ooh, what are Mitch and Alex's favorite moments from the podcast?
Oh,
You go first.
getting to leave. Nah.
You're a dick.
The first episode where Keegan just went crazy on everyone and we awkwardly sat here.
You sat because that's right. We had the setup further back so you could see all three of us sitting, and you just sat there with your sunglasses on and your arms folded with your legs crossed.
Yeah.
And it was funny. I've got some good screenshots from that.
That's weird, but okay.
No, it's like our thumbnails, like
Oh,
screenshots of
okay.
us. Like, I think we all had our arms around each other at one point. It was really funny.
But he was going off, and I don't remember if I agree with everything he said, but the vision of him just losing it over nothing.
Yeah,
was pretty funny.
I think I even went to say something, and he went, "Shut up, Box. Wait, I'm not done."
Yeah,
I think there was like 45 minutes of Keegan just going on a tangent.
yeah, that was my favorite moment.
That's pretty funny.
All the
I was
puppeteers.
about to say the puppeteers.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, where he told his Thailand story. That's another
that's right.
favorite one.
Yeah, I think that whole Super Show with Wes and Keegan was a great one. There was another one. I think the Johnny Star episode is also a personal favorite. That got some traction.
That one got quite serious. I do like when we do serious stuff, but I also love the funnies. I'm all about the laughs, Box.
I can tell.
Yeah, in life and in podcasting.
Speaking of the funnies,
Yeah.
who's the funniest wrestler backstage?
Nice segue.
Thank you.
Funniest wrestler in All Star?
The puppeteer.
Yeah. It's hard to go
It
past the
has to be the
puppeteer.
puppeteer. Aries is pretty funny.
And he's no puppeteer.
I just like if we're talking about in general, it'd be but backstage. If we're talking about backstage specifically, or is anyone cracking jokes?
It's got to be the puppeteer.
Yeah.
Comes in, how's it going, my neighbor?
Yeah.
And he'll give you a hug. He's got the green hair.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Ripped shorts and that burgundy singlet that he wears.
yeah, he dresses funny. He always wears odd socks. He always got holes in his shorts.
Yeah.
He's a loose unit, and I love it. I could never be angry at that man. I remember you turned up late at a Collecticon after I yelled at you.
Yeah.
And he's like, sorry, I'm late, trains. I'm like, it's all good, puppet.
Yeah, and then he came and put on a turnbuckle pad upside down.
He's the best. We've got to get him on the pod. He's won the Padstow crowd over, Box. You've got to cash in on him.
Yeah. Maybe.
Although I don't think he'd turn up on time for the pod. You'd have to get him here on a Saturday.
That's true. Johnny Star was amazing. Jasmine's one was too, says David Bullock.
Yeah, got to put Jasmine over.
Yeah.
Amazing lady, one of the best in Australian wrestling. She's married well.
Well, that's not putting her over. That's
She's
putting Keegan.
Beautiful child, great mother. Can't say enough good things about Jasmine Brettle.
I agree.
Every show we've got to have 3 little tangents like that about Jasmine Brettle, I think.
Yeah, I agree. Keegan's pretty fun as well. Yeah, Keegan.
He's no Jasmine Brettle.
No.
I am a Jasmine Brettle guy. Keegan's great.
You know what? Next week, I'm going to wear my Jasmine Brettle shirt.
That's right.
Yeah.
Keegs is a distant number 2 to the real Brettle, Jasmine.
Wow. Even backstage though, like if we're talking about the funniest wrestler, Keegan's fun. But I don't know. He's always just trying to get serious, get in the mood for his match. I think
The puppeteer,
he's
he's funny backstage, funny in the ring. The man does a teapot. He did an elbow drop at the Collecticon on nobody, and then he goes, "That was silly." Like, he reminds me of the Birdman. And I traveled a lot with the Birdman, and puppeteer, he sees that as a compliment. Most people would be like, "No, I don't want to be compared to the Birdman," but
yeah, that's right. He calls himself this generation's version,
and
of
he
the Birdman.
certainly is. I hope he's around for a million years. I love him.
That's so good. The content cat says, "What happened to Milano?" Silvio Milano? Is that his name?
Yeah, Silvio, he would have been mentioned like 3-4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
You're flipping me off, Box.
Sorry, it's not on purpose.
Silvio, I don't know. I don't know what he does or where he's gone. I haven't seen him in 4 years.
Milano, Jeff Milano.
Oh,
That just clicked. Sorry.
he's dead to the promotion.
Oh, Jesus.
No, I'm just kidding. He's all right.
What is planned for 2024?
What's our busiest year to date, Box?
Should I pull up the schedule?
Pull up the schedule. We'll go through it. It's insane.
You know it's always in my bookmark.
This man, he checks the schedule daily, or you were at least.
I was. I don't even 20.
He knows it off by heart.
2024. So we have 2 events in January.
Yep.
The 13th of January, we're at some spectacular Padstow RSL.
That might change though, because there's like 6 promotions running that night.
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy.
The 27th of January, Born to be Wild at the Hamilton North Bowling.
Born to be wild. Sing it. Sing it,
I don't know
Box.
the song.
Oh. You're not old.
No. And then our tour begins in February.
Yeah, it's pretty cooked.
So on the 7th of February, we're in Hay.
Yeah.
Where Hay is, I have no clue.
It's at the bottom of New South Wales.
We're in Hay.
You can't say where we are on the 8th.
No, I was about to say the 8th of February, we are TBA.
I can announce that now this venue hasn't paid us yet, so it may not happen, Box, but I'm 99% sure that it will. It's All Stars' first interstate show.
Wow. That's huge. The 9th of February, we
Yep.
travel to Cobar.
Back in Cobar. I love Cobar.
Do you?
Yeah. We got to spend on the tour we did last year with Chris Masters, we got to do Cobar. And like we traveled to Cobar, and then we kind of got to spend a day there.
Yeah.
And it's just this little town, really nice. It's in the outback. The people are really nice.
So like when we went to Narandra and walked around at 9 o'clock at night.
No, Narandra is Sydney compared to Cobar.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
There is nothing really going on there, but I like that.
Yeah.
And they love their wrestling. They come out for it. Like, not a huge crowd for a little town, but there was like 100, 110 people there.
Wow.
Last time. Yeah. It's for a town with a population of 2,000 people.
Okay.
So it wasn't bad at all. And they were really nice. And we're really excited to be going back to Cobar.
And the tour ends on the 10th of February at the Brewarina RSL Club.
Yep.
Never been there.
Never been there either. It's 2 hours from Cobar.
Yeah. And then a week later, we're back at the Padstow RSL Club. Survival of the Fittest.
Yes, the Rumble show.
The Rumble show. Also, the 3-year anniversary of Padstow.
Yeah.
Yeah. The 9th of March, we're in Coonabarabran. Never heard of it. David Bullock's heard of it. I remember that was the venue.
Yeah, so is the Warden. So the people know it, Box.
Yeah. The 16th of March is TBA.
You're on that one.
And then...
Yeah.
The 24th of March, we're at a Collecticon. I'm also on that one.
In Penrith.
The 13th of April, the 6-year anniversary event. 6 years. Can you believe it?
Yes, I can. It's made me grey. It's made me sick. It's made me fat. I can believe it. Yeah.
The 20th of April, we're in Bega.
Yeah, I'm excited to go to Bega as well. I've never been. Drove through there.
Really?
Yeah, but never stopped. So excited to get out to the wrestling fans of Bega.
The 11th of May, we're back at Padstow.
Yep.
The 26th of May, we're at the Penrith Collecticon. And then the 15th of June, The 15th of June.
A night to remember
A
box.
night to remember 5. The
Who
5th,
will-
a night to remember.
Who will be there?
Can you
Who
believe
knows?
it, Mitch?
Can I believe he has? Yeah.
The
Insert rant here.
the 28th of July, for the first time ever, we're at the Newcastle Collecticon at the Newcastle Entertainment Centre, a venue that has held the likes of Triple H and Shawn Michaels, Mitch.
Yes. Yeah.
Can you believe it? Alex Box will be wrestling in the same venue as Triple H and Shawn Michaels?
Feel sad for Triple H and Shawn Michaels and the building.
So do I. No events currently announced for August.
Oh, there'll be. We haven't booked the second half of the
Yeah.
year yet. There will definitely be shows.
So the 15th of September and the 24th of November, the Penrith Collecticons so far.
And we're in talks for events in like 2025 already as well. Like it's crazy how excited the people are for All Star Wrestling action.
David Bullock says, "Did I hear you say a change of date for Summer Spectacular? Possibly.
Possibly, yeah. Not confirmed yet.
You just moved to the 20th, wouldn't you?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
But yeah, what a year we have ahead. I didn't even
Oh.
count how many events that was. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12, 13, 14, 15 events just for the first half of the year. 16, 17, 18, and that's without the second half book.
Yeah, it's going to be the busiest.
So we'll end up on average doing 2 shows a month, if not more.
It's what a lot of places work towards and dream about, and we managed to achieve that. So that's great.
I feel like there was more question. And I
You just got excited.
I did. Oh, we've even got a new one. Jeez.
Wow.
I haven't even opened it. Who has been the most difficult wrestler to deal with? Alex Box.
Nah, look, not to bury the guy because I'm looking to move past it, but Mikey Lord was the most difficult, but I will defend him and say it was only really in the last month or so that he was with All Star that he was difficult. Most of the time he was fine. So we've had a good run with wrestlers and not really being difficult. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But if I had to pick one, it'd be him.
Do Mitch and Alex think All Star gets the credit it deserves? You can answer this one.
No. But well, yes. So like there's fans like David who they love All Star and they're always talking about it, putting it over. They thank us for a good show every time we're there. And a lot of the Padstow fans are like that. But within the internet groups, All Star's not really given the credit that it deserves, I don't think. Like in New South Wales, we've ran more events than anyone for 2 years running.
I think
that takes a lot to do.
Yeah, you spoke about like the internet community and the wrestling community that we have. And there's like a fairly large wrestling community for Australian wrestling online.
Yeah.
And you see a lot of places that, like I'm just going to be blunt here, a lot of places that don't really deserve to be talked about are getting talked about and we're not.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, I'd rather have the support of the people who are turning up every month at Padstow and enjoying the shows, and they're telling us who they'd like to see next, or I'm always going to value those people over the internet people.
Yeah.
But I would say that we're definitely overlooked by the more modern internet wrestling fan.
Thoughts on Piers Austin's rebranding of the Truth Pod?
I don't watch Piers' stuff.
Fair enough.
People still trying to ignite that feud.
Speaking of Mikey Lord, thoughts on Mikey Lord's upcoming podcast that he is teased or announced?
Someone showed me it. I haven't seen it.
Fair enough. I don't even know if he's released it or not. A new question here.
Wow. Who asked that?
I don't know. It's NGL chief.
Wow. Might have to pay to see who sent that one through.
Yeah.
You know that feature?
Yeah.
It might be someone here. We won't read it, but
No.
the person who asked it, well, we don't believe in that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
There's more likely to be little Mitch and Mia's running around than that.
Yeah, fair enough.
Mm.
All right.
It's an interesting question, though. To be someone who knows me personally,
Yeah.
probably Dance and Dave.
Yeah.
Or maybe you, Box.
No, I've been sitting here, chief. It just came through. Look, 9 minutes ago.
All right. I believe you.
Yeah. Dance and Dave. Maybe Keegan. Maybe Keegan's watching.
Jasmine Brettle, perhaps.
Jasmine Brettle. Yeah.
Jazz, don't do me like that. That's not good.
PWA has
Amazing person, by the way, Jasmine Brettle.
of course
Mm.
incomparable.
Great mother, great wrestler.
Great friend.
Yep. Number one in the Brettle family.
PWA has a woman for men's champion. Will we see an animal be the women's champion? A bird or a cat?
Wait, can you read that again? PWA has a what?
A woman for a men's champion.
Oh, okay. And then will we have an animal champion?
Yeah.
No. We're a traditional promotion content, cat.
B-boy comment.
Well, B-boy is not really an animal box.
No.
He's a boy. Yeah. No, we're a modern wrestling. We're a traditional wrestling promotion. So
John Whelan says Birdman.
Everybody talking about the Birdman today.
I know he's popular. I'm gonna have to change the title a bit.
Can we get Birdman on a pod? Imagine him sitting right next to you,
Imagine the rating.
or in the middle of us.
Imagine the rating.
I could
Blow up. We'd go viral.
I could make it happen.
Please don't.
I'll talk to the guy. I love the Birdman. He knows that.
I'm like, listen here, mate. I'll do your pod, but you got to put me on a Padstow show, mate.
Don't know about that one. let's run the match back. The Bird and the Bee versus Fergus and Wes. Sure, Wes
But
and
instead
Bee
of
would be
Fergus,
thrilled.
I'm in there.
No, you get belted. It's Barry.
Bazaar. So we're out of questions, and there's 12 minutes left.
I feel like I should have elaborated on some of those other questions where I just said I don't watch, but I can't comment on things that I don't see.
Yeah.
So I could lie and say, oh, the Mikey Lord pod is no good, but I haven't seen it.
Well, I don't think it's out yet.
Oh, well, there you go. Well, I haven't seen it.
How do you think it'll go?
I don't know.
Because I think
he'd certainly have a lot of stories to
yeah, I
tell
think
after
that's the-
15, 20 years in the business.
Yeah, I think that's the basis of the pod.
Yeah. People clearly want to hear from the guy, so let him do a podcast. It's a free country.
Yeah, what else have we talked about? That was pretty much it. I don't know. Oh yeah, are there any other tag teams you'd like to see in All Star other than the Puppeteer and Zuzu? Who I have beef with?
Ooh. The Dudley Boys box. The Dudley Boys.
Rhino and Heath Slater.
Yeah, why not? Let's say hypothetically, the Dudley Boys come out and they wrestled without warning in a tables match. Who's not turning up for that?
Morgan Rose.
We should go into that.
That was a good one.
We should go into that. But it's a great match. In terms of local
Sorry, I
teams,
just popped myself so hard.
who are some of the local teams? Like there's the Velocities, they're good.
The Velocities, the Natural Classics, the Perea.
No, they're not local, like Sydney teams.
Oh, Sydney teams. Moretti and Jimmy Townsend have been doing a thing lately.
Haven't seen it.
Oh, the Millennial Man.
Oh no.
Is it true that Steph Delanda shot herself in the All-Star ring?
No, that's not true. Where did you hear that, Millennial Man? Where do people find these things, Box?
That was so out of nowhere.
There's so many things
We're
out
sitting here
there.
talking about Australian tag teams, and he's talking about Steph Delanda shitting herself.
I can confirm that she did not shit herself at
I
Padstow.
was front row. She didn't shit herself.
Yeah. I don't know where people come up with this stuff.
I read it on 4chan.
On 4chan. It's a website. Stay away from their box. But no, I can 100% confirm that she did not have a accident. To my knowledge, at least.
We should ask Jasmine Brettle.
Yeah, I'm 99.9% sure that is not true.
You know who wouldn't shit themselves in a ring?
Alex Box.
Jasmine Brettle.
That's right.
Yeah.
Great mother, great friend.
Number one in the Brettle family.
Hmm.
Hope you're watching, Jasmine. We love you.
If she's not watching, I'm going to be upset.
Yeah, so will I.
Put her over like she's Hulk Hogan.
Brettle Mania running wild.
Brettle Mania, yeah.
You shouldn't get the puppeteer to get Puppet Mania shirts made.
Oh, I'd sign it.
Yeah.
Uh,
Hell yeah. What else have we got?
let's get some content going, Box.
I don't know. There's nothing going.
Feeling sleepy.
Yeah, so am I. Let's see. Jasmine Brett will message me. No, she hasn't.
She's not interested in your box.
No. But the fans want the Brettles back on the podcast, so we should make that happen.
We'll make it happen.
I don't know. We might have to do a Saturday or Sunday edition in that case, but
It's worth it.
it is. The people are a creature of habit, but it'll be worth it.
Yeah, we'll make it happen.
We will. Look, we've hit an hour and 20.
You got to go an hour and 30, Box. Don't go out.
Do you want me to sit here and talk shit?
That's right.
So Steph DeLanda, right? Look at Mitch, he's just checking his phone.
We got 6 minutes until people start. Well, no, wait. It's 6:54. Everybody's late, Box. Usually we'd have people filing in.
Everyone is late. What's going on?
What's going on? It'd be funny if it was just Johnny Starr.
That'd be pretty funny.
Sorry, I can't come to training today. I've got puppetry.
David Bullock says, telling, very powerful. He's feeling very powerful with all his requests being heard today. Speaking of, I just heard a car that sounds like Johnny Starr, so I believe he's arrived.
Oh, well. We've got a lot to say to him.
I wonder if Johnny Starr will jump on the camera for him.
I hope not. He always bullies you. I got a comment on the Morgan Rose situation.
Yeah, sorry.
There was a meeting today in this very room, Box. You were not privy to it. You were not All-Star Management.
No, yeah.
I can confirm.
He made me wait outside. Quite disappointed.
Well, it's a private meeting between gentlemen.
Am I not gentleman?
Oh, yeah, but you're not a powerful gentleman yet.
Yeah.
You're an SMIT.
Man.
Yes.
Smith. Stop looking at Barry. Just
I hear a rev.
yeah.
I can confirm that there will be an announcement made in the coming days about the Morgan Rose situation.
So what's the bet? Whoever that is watching the pod, trying to hear themselves revving in the background.
They're excited.
Yeah. Anyway,
there will be an update soon, and I don't think Morgan Rose is going to like it very much. So I'll leave that with you. That's an exclusive.
Wow.
For the Mitch and Alex show.
That's great.
Yes.
I'm excited for the update.
I don't know why he's trying to escape these tag title defenses. Like, wouldn't you want to be a fighting champion, Box?
I don't know. Maybe he doesn't.
I don't know, but I certainly hope that what we've got cooked up resonates with Mr. Rose. Oh,
right.
Look who it is.
There we are.
We are live.
How you going, Jimmy Bolton?
Bro.
All right, Will Ospreay. Don't.
No, let him put his head in.
All right, put your head in.
He's dressed nicely today.
Oh, you smell great too.
I haven't smelled him yet.
Oh,
Ladies and gentlemen, Jimmy Zero's in the house. A young trainee wrestler.
I can hear you very loud.
I can't hear it.
No, not really. All right, piss off your team.
Box. Let's plug the sponsors and get out of here.
We are the Mitch and Alex Show, sponsored by Bulldog. You're blocking the All-Star banner check.
It's all right.
We are the Mitch and Alex Show, sponsored by Bulldog Glass and Property Maintenance. And Bulldog Glass and Property Maintenance only. He's Mitch.
Am I?
I'm Alex.
Yeah.
We are the Mitch and
I'm
Alex
Jimmy.
Show.
I'm Jimmy.
We are the Mitch and Alex Show.
With Jimmy.
With Jimmy. And Jasmine Brettle is the greatest person on earth. We will
I
see you
agree.
next week.
Yep. Great person. Great mother. Great wrestler.